What's up, everybody? I hope you're all doing all right on this beautiful Sunday. It is absolutely fantastic weather here right now. It is bright, sunny. It's a little breezy, so there might be a little wind noise. And there's also a hawk up above me just screaming away. But anyhow, I had a few things to talk with you guys about, and I finally got a chance to take a minute and better weather to get outside. I have just been surviving. That's about it. The shop power is fixed. It's up and running. Everything seems to be doing great with it so far. At least I'm able to get the work done that I need to get done. Right now I am a pretty good ways behind on orders still, even though I've checked off about 10 or 12 of them. That's good, but I gotta get back to 0 orders on the book, because when I have orders on the book, I can't seem to get as much runs done as I need to. And that's what I'm wanting to do, is bigger runs, bigger drops. So, as soon as I'm caught up on orders, I will be rolling with the big runs again. Oh, I've been just stuffy and a little allergenic. But anyway, first off, since I didn't get to do it after the first of the year, most carried knives of 2024. First up would be my Adventure. It's a Nitro V, dark green. And before I started carrying that one, before I made it to carry, I was carrying the Nitro V test knife. Now, most of you have seen this. This one I actually went crazy with the etcher, trying to test it out and make sure that I had my settings right before I went doing it on, knives that were paid for or I was going to be trying to sell. Aside from that, my Tradition Junior Nitro V with the Jungle Wear fat carbon. It's got green liners, copper pins, although they've patinaed up a little bit and got a little brown. They're still pretty cool. I just made another one of these like about a week and a half ago for somebody personal. And then I carried this one a little bit. This is a Revelation Nitro V with snakeskin gold, like the Mosquito that just dropped. By the way, thank you for everyone for supporting Very Good Knife Company. And thank you for everyone grabbing a knife from the drop. Past drops, future drops, thank you. Where did she go? There it is. This one got carried a little, not much, but it did carry it at Blade Show a lot. All 3 days. And it was a good one to show around. Most used knives would probably be, aside from my Adventure and the Tradition Junior, I have absolutely just beat the living life out of this Walkabout, and it's still pretty new. It's just got some patina on it. I have started a couple hundred fires with this knife since I made it, and it's such a good knife. It just is. And I would love to be able to do leather work so I could do sheaths like this, because the sheath is great too. And my ferro rod has dwindled from a big thick one to a little oddly shaped and quite thin. And I've done a lot of carving and light prep work for like feather sticking and stuff like that with fire with this Rambler. And show you this knife. The Ramblers, they really are good carvers, and I've done just a whole bunch of carving with it. It's really it's just excellent at carving. I know these are nothing but just simple tri-sticks, but figured you guys would want to see. And this year, last year, boy, I'm way behind. Time has just slipped away. Last year I made myself, my wife, and all the kids one of these, 6 of these in total, and everyone got one of each color. They're all different colors, and the kids have carried them a lot. My boy carries his on his belt quite a bit. Oldest daughter, she's 15. She carries hers daily, and it has picked up a patina. I gave them ADC RV2 so they could learn how to take care of a knife and not just have a Nitro V1 that they just never had to oil or never clean. Just kind of a screw it beater blade. I wanted them to learn taking care of a knife. Speaking of taking care of a knife, I've got a pretty interesting example that I'm going to be making a video with. So I was sent this knife by a customer, and he messaged me a while back and said he was going to send it so I could clean it up and make it new again. And I usually don't really warranty for rust or anything like that. So and I recommend, if you want to clean your knife up and make it brand new, I'll do it for you. Just send it to me. Send me return shipping money in the box. Send me a $10 bill in the box, or whatever you send it in, and I will fix it up for you and make it new. It's not really much to me, and I feel like it's good to provide a service like that because there's just not a lot of good services like that anymore. Anyway, this is a Gen 1 Adventure, brass screws. It's got the taco sheet though, so it's a little later. And this thing is just look at it. Oh my goodness. So I'm gonna make an entire video out of how I'm gonna restore this, and I'll show you how I would restore this, how I'm gonna restore this. It needs some help quite badly. ADC RV2, of course, with the brass screws, because everything Gen 1 that was Nitro V had stainless screws. Then I moved to stainless screws for everything because I can tighten them down a little more. But this knife has not come apart. It has not wiggled free. Nothing's really loose. I mean, aside from it being a rust bucket, it's perfectly fine. I mean, there isn't really much wrong with it. But that right there, that's what happens when you don't really oil them, or you're working in like a super wet environment. Even the sheath is still in pretty good shape. It's just missing a screw. That's easy. So he carried this a good bit. This thing got used for sure. But look at it, my goodness. But I'm gonna make it all brand new, and I'll show you how I do it too. That'll probably be posted sometime middle of next week, or this coming week. Anyway, that right there, and I'll just say that it's got to be a little more assisted than just never getting used or sitting in a sheath. This thing got wet. It got used, put up wet, no doubt, because this one is the same thing, same knife, Gen 1 brass screw, ADC RV2, and I have purposefully not taken care of this knife as a test. It's got a little bit of rust patina around the back, but I mean, it's not much. Nothing a rust eraser wouldn't get rid of. This is beyond a rust eraser. You could take it down with a rust eraser, it would clean it. There's gonna be a lot of pitting, and it's just gonna rust over again. This one needs a good wire wheeling. I'm just gonna completely refinish it. But anyway, this is what happens when you just don't carry them. That one is it's not a not carried issue, it's a carried wet kind of thing. So there's you a good example. And then here's a clean one that gets carried every single day, all day. It only leaves my belt to go to another pair of pants. I've carried it every day since, what was the date that I made that? It was right before Blade Show, so sometime in June. Anyway, I thought that was cool. That got sent to me. I got it on Thursday or Friday. Anyway, I got another one in the mail that I was really, really happy to see. This guy messaged us. He actually messaged my Bloodline email because I don't have anything on the webpage. I didn't take it down. I just didn't pay on it. So they took it down themselves. And the account is gone. So anyway, and that was like 2020, 2021, or no, it might have been 2019. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'm rambling. This guy has been carrying a first generation ADC RV2 Bloodline Tradition. Looks a little different than the Tradition that we have now. But he has carried this every day since 2017. And he's gotten a lot of use out of it, I would say. 2017. Now, I've got one just like it in a sheath that I carried quite a bit. You can see mine's got a little more blade on it left. Just a little. Wow. But I thought it was really cool to see one of the past knives come up. So, yeah, see, mine is missing the lanyard tube. His has still got it. Mine started to come loose and I got annoyed with it and pushed it out. His is still holding in there just fine. Pretty neat. This one isn't even blued, so this is a really early one. This one was blued, and I didn't start doing the bluing until after probably the first 50 or 60 of them. But anyway, he sent it to me because the sheath broke. That was it. The only reason he sent it to me, because he needed a new sheath. The sun is right in my face. But this one had a molded in belt loop. I did this sheath. You can see we've come a long way in 8 years, no doubt. This went on there like this, and it broke off. He just cut it back, ground it. But I mean, the Kydex is still just fine. It's got great retention, no rattle. Oh, there's a little rattle. Found it. Not much. And a really good retention still. He just needs a new sheath. This one's broke. So I'm going to send him the old one back so he can have it. I'll clean it up, clean this all up, and I don't know, I just thought that was really cool. I thought you guys would want to see that. But that is the first, this is probably the first, one of the first 50 Bloodline that I did. So this was like December of 2015, or no, it had to be 16, somewhere in there. And then I sat on a bunch of these for quite a while. Anyway, every day since 2017, and it looks pretty dang good. But I mean, you know, this kind of finish is what I was once okay with. My standards have changed slightly. There's nothing wrong with this knife. It's just I wouldn't do them the same way again. See, I've got some like 120 grit all the way around, and the fit is, I mean, it's just fine. But then we've got these like 36 grit. Nah, I don't do that stuff no more. There are a lot of people that that do, and these knives right here didn't sell for anything much more, if any at all, more than what they're selling for now. It's like $130, $140, $150 knife somewhere in there. Pretty cool up. Thank you for sending that in. I am excited to see it. What's next? Oh yeah, here's a Generation 2 bloodline with orange G10, and it's powder coated. You see, this one's still got a lot of blade left on it. Hasn't been eaten up like this one has. It's been sharpened so many times. Put them together so you can see how much has been worn off of it. That's a lot. Anyway, this is my wife's. She carried it a good bit, but not much. Not as much as she carries her Rambler and Mustang. What else did I have to show you guys? Oh, so I had somebody get a knife from me, and he was so excited about it that he wanted to send me knives, and he did. He sent me, I just, you know, I wasn't expecting this at all, not even close. Damn it. Anyway, he sent me a knife. He sent me a letter. A knife. It says, Jacob, please enjoy the knives. They're all brand new condition. I hope they brighten your day and allow you to start a small collection of your own if you don't already have one. And I don't. You guys, a lot of you guys know that I don't have a big knife collection. I have a massive collection of my own knives. I have a small collection of case knives, but I don't have a collection of like modern production knives. None. In fact, the only other one that I have, and it's pretty near and dear to me, it's right here within reach. Exodus Knife and Tool, Adventure Craft, and this one is the Brick Craft, and it's the special one with that shiny flaky. It's one of the first 50 of those. I'm really tickled to have this. It's pretty special too. All of us, we all like this knife. My kids especially, because they're all Lego kids. But anyway, I don't have a collection of any of the modern production knives, or I mean much of anybody else's knives either. He says, I thought I would send you these as a token of appreciation for allowing me to get one of your knives on such short notice. Please enjoy the rest of your day. Zachary Schmidt. Zachary, buddy, I tell you what, I have just been over the moon and have not stopped playing, touching, holding every one of these. Now, before I even show you, I've seen most of these knives. In fact, some of them I handled and played with at Blade Show, have seen in the past, but I just haven't really spent any time with. So I bet you're just dying to know what was sent and why I'm so over the moon. I've got first up a Demko Free Reign. I mean, my goodness. What a gift. Just one of these, any one of these was just a massive gift alone. But I got a Demko Free Reign. Now, this one, I've never been crazy about rubber handled knives, and I'm still not, but this, it feels good. It's very functional, of course. It's well made. A lot of the Demko stuff is highly praised for good reason. My favorite thing about this knife is the sheath. Now, I saw some, I think they were the blue ones. I don't know what those are, but it might have been Gabe. maybe Frank. Someone reviewed one and I watched it and the next review of the other one that they did. And I thought, that's a pretty cool sheath, because you can take the sheath apart and clean it, and you can't really do that with Kydex thermoformed anything, especially if it's eyeletted. So I thought the sheath was really cool. It has a lot of static retention because it's kind of rubbery, and that's cool, but it's got that click from this guard all the way around, all integration. It's pretty cool. I like it a lot. Patent pending. It ought to be. It's good design. It's a pretty neat sheath. Next up, and this is pretty awesome because they come with this is the Tical Accomplice. This is a pretty dang cool knife. This, so all the Tical stuff is all machine done for the most part. In fact, almost all of it is machine done. They've got machine bevels, and you can still see the machining marks. And they look really good. This one's an AEBL. It's nickel boron coated, Nib-X coated. And it is a little thin in here with those G10. This has got that marble G10. It's a little thin in here, but it's not bad. This knife is way sharp. Way sharp. Pretty dang sweet. This one, out of all 5 of them, I thought had the best Kydex. It's got no rattle, no wiggle, no nothing. But it just fits perfect. It's got the perfect retention. It doesn't bump out really easy. I've handled a lot of Tical knives. I stopped at Tical at Blade Show as well. They've been around a while, so pretty dang neat. I like the jimping on the thumb ramp, the push ramp right there. Push ramp with a pancake style sheath is pretty neat too. Nice knife, really, really nice. Next up, I've got this is a Ox Manufacturing Pocket Bowie. This one is also an AEBL. This thing is absolutely wicked. When I first pulled it out, I was just like, that is interesting. And the whole thing with the Pocket Bowie is it's got that coffin handle, and that's a Bowie thing. I'm not sure that it's much of a Bowie blade, but it has resemblance for sure. It's more of a trailing point. But this thing is like 7 thousandths behind the edge, maybe 10. It's thin. It's super thin, and it's 3/16 stock, and it's got a pretty short grind on it, but it is thin and slicey, and this thing is awesome. It feels pretty good for as spread out and non like anti-contoured the handle is. I am usually not a fan of any kind of massive texturing. This right here would be an absolutely fantastic self-defense EDC. This is not good for that, since we can't say that anymore. Awesome Kydex, Ox Manufacturing, AUX Manufacturing. Pretty sweet blade. Pretty dang sweet. Yes, he did send me all 3 of those. Where'd the other one go? He sent me all 3 of those. Isn't that crazy, guys? That's not all. We're not done. Holy cow. I was just completely blown away. I'm still blown away. It was so kind of you, Zachary. I really appreciate it. Next up is a Reef F4 in 3V. This knife is pretty sweet. I handled these at Blade Show. They've gotten super popular. All the Reef knives have gotten super popular, and for good reason. I will say that I have been blown away with Reef's level of fit and finish for manufacture, for machined work. given that everything is machine done, it's really impressive how tight they've been able to get the handles on this. And there's no way that, I mean, with as much as they're making, there's no way that they're individually cutting them either. Can't be. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I haven't looked into that. But I've been just blown away by the fit and finish of every reef that I've touched. Has been pretty high quality. Of course, 3V speaks for itself, and their 3V is really nice. There is one thing that I don't like about reef knives, and the 3 that I have touched so far and actually done things with, this is the 3rd one, they all have the wrong edge angle for me. It's about, I mean, I don't know what it is. I can't really tell, but it looks somewhere like 20, 21, or 22. It's too steep for me. I like them 17, 18. The knife works really, really, really well. The 3V is fantastic stuff. I've been doing a lot of playing with this one. It's a really high quality knife. It just is. It's a high quality knife. This one, though, I will say that the reef, out of the ones that I have here to show, has the least most favorable kydex for me. The retention is a little weak, but that could be fixed pretty easily. It looks really nice. It's got a ferro rod sleeve right there. I'm not crazy about belt clips, but this one has got big teeth on it, and it should bite really nicely. I don't know how I would feel about like long-term or big long trek across the wilderness carrying it with that belt clip. It's just putting a lot of trust in it. But I mean, it ought not go too far if you pay attention to it. And they've got that big rubber washer. I just did a sheath for a Reef Circadian for Gabe over at Last Huntsman Outdoors. If you guys are not following him, go follow him. Also, big shout out to Jacob Peterson, Exodus Knife and Tool, JBP Gear Reviews. If you guys are not following him, which most of you, if you are here, you are already following both of them. So the Reef F4, absolutely awesome knife. How does it get better? How does it get better? How about a Steadfast from Work Tough Gear? My goodness. So I watched every review that, like everyone that I'm following. Scabs reviews are always fun. Gabe did a review of this knife. I think John did. I've watched a bunch on it because I like it. I think it's pretty wicked looking. I think it's pretty sweet. And when I got this thing in hand, I was just like, holy shit. This is badass. It is really badass. This is the first time I've ever touched anything Work Tough. Never touched anything Work Tough. Ever. So, of course, I've heard all about how high quality they are. They must be, given how fast they sell out and how popular they are. Also, the price is right on these, of course. Pretty much everything Work Tough Gear, the price is right. They're not American made. Doesn't bother me. But the fit and finish on this one is fantastic too. This one though was handle finished to the knife, so it's a little easier to get them fit and finished this level, you know, nice and clean when you're finishing the handle on the knife. You know, when you're machining every part of the knife separately and then putting them all together, getting a really super tight fit and finish is difficult. Most places will go negative on their handle size, and that way there is no overhang, because you don't want handle overhang. Blade overhang is not a bad thing, as long as it's not a crazy amount. So like on the White River stuff, all the handles are negative. They've got a really nice fit and finish too, but the same thing. The handles are not finished on the knife. They're attached afterwards. This one is not. This one has been finished together, and it is really, I mean, this thing is just badass. It's badass. The super polished edge on that stonewash finish makes me smile. I can't help it. I like it. You guys know enough about this knife already though. And all these other ones, I was excited. I wanted to show you guys. Sheath on this one is a little bulky. But I mean, of course, super high quality Kydex work. This one is almost the exact same size as First Strike. This is my Rust Bucket First Strike. This one usually stays in my plate carrier. These knives are comparable. Pretty dang sweet. This has got a flat grind, more of like a high saber grind. It's probably about 45, maybe 40 behind the edge. It's pretty thick, but it's not too thick. And the Work Tough stuff has a pretty laid back edge. I mean, pretty dang laid back. Probably 17, 18 degree. So good edge angle. This thing is sharp, sharp, sharp. It's way sharp and it's way pointy. This would also be a fantastic blade for the plate carrier or a mini EDC self-defense type of thing. A little big for EDC for me. But I know some people that carry shit this big. I don't know why. But it sure is damn cool. This thing is cool. I mean, I like it a lot. It's got G10 scales, and they are machine finished as well. What I'm guessing is they're machine cutting all the scales, of course, and then hand finishing them once they're assembled, which is what I would do. Clean up any gaps, because this has the kind of fit and finish like a almost like a handmade knife. I know that Work Tough gear does a lot of hand grinding and hand finishing on everything, because I've seen some of their videos, but that's about all I know. Anyway, Zachary, my dude, I am just blown away. I'm blown away. I really am. That was really kind of you, and it absolutely made my day. It really did. I appreciate it, bud. I think that is all that I wanted to cover. So, this one is the next video. I'll have a video on how I fix this up, make it brand new again. I believe that's all. One more time, thank you, Zachary. I really appreciate it. Kindness exists in the world. I appreciate it. Really, I'm just blown away. I got a nice little collection of modern production knives now. Oh gosh. Well, this video is 35 minutes long now. If you are still around, you are either half brain dead or asleep, or just completely bored to death, or you're crazy like me and everybody else that watches this channel. Oh, well. I appreciate everybody's support. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.